got a Joy Reid segment where she talks about Donald Trump.
But we begin tonight with Donald Trump's ongoing normalization of racism and violence. 9 years after America's highest profile birther began his first presidential campaign by describing Mexican migrants as rapists and criminals, you can no longer be surprised at the pure venom Donald Trump is capable of spewing about people of color. Even though more often than not, he's referring to people who are fleeing poverty and violence and who are simply looking for the prospect of a better life through hard, often back-breaking work here in the United States. But compassion is not in the vocabulary of the man who paints himself as the second coming of Jesus while ignoring Jesus.
I have to comment on this, okay? It sounds a little bit like Joy Reid saying that migrants are slaves. Joy, you do remember that migrants get paid. Yeah, hold on, man. Hold everything, yo. Joy Reid's talking like migrants out in the fields like slaves. That's how she sounds. She sounds like migrants are slaving. Like migrants are back-breaking work. Are they being beat while they pick tomatoes? What's going on? Somebody taking advantage of them in the barn? What's really going on, Joy? You're making it sound like getting a job in America is similar to some third world shit. You mean the plants, the meat processing plants that black people used to have jobs at Smithfield or what have you, that now are almost notoriously been taken over by new entrants, new documented people, sometimes undocumented people too. Just keep it a buck. Are you trying to say those jobs are like slave jobs? Because all types of people work those jobs. There are black people that work those jobs. There are white people that work those jobs. There are Asians that work those jobs. Native Americans that work those jobs. All types of people work those jobs, Joy. Are there entire industries that nobody works them except migrants? Because I don't know of those. Because I know in small towns all across America, whether it be hotel, hospitality jobs, black people and white people work those jobs. See, this is what happens when you're Joy Reid and you live up here in the clouds and you think everybody's doing well. Folks, about 40%, 40% of black Americans live beneath the poverty line. About 20% or so, white Americans, I think it's high teens, live beneath the poverty line. Joy's talking like those people got all these choices for jobs and that they don't do jobs that they can afford not to do. So, Joy, you talk about migrants who didn't get green cards or get work permits or able to work in America, or are you talking about undocumented people? Which people are you talking about? Let's be real clear here, because what I got a problem with is the framing of this conversation. Guys, I'm serious. We got to watch her on this shit. There are poor Americans who will do any job, who have been doing any type of job. And if you want to say that these migrants are struggling so badly that they're doing these jobs, that no one else would ever do, who the hell was doing them before they started doing them? Where are these companies that have been formed with some type of industry or some type of job classifications that no one else would do? How could those companies actually exist if they had to wait until they could get migrants to do the jobs? So this is bullshit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Bullshit. And before you write me long, lengthy letters about how hard migrants have it, I'm trying to remind you, Americans got it bad too. Americans have it bad too. That's the disconnection between some people and the people I'm talking to. Okay? Some people just don't get it. They think black people and white people, poor white people and black people don't exist. They do exist. They exist. And then some of them work jobs that are grueling. Some of them work jobs where they stand on their feet 9, 10 hours a day. Some of them work jobs where they're bending over a lot. Some of them work jobs that make them tired. Okay? Stop making these people who come to America seeking a better life, stop making it sound like they come here to become slaves, man. Stop making it sound like they are legally working jobs that are inhumane and against code, that are unsafe, that are tantamount or comparable to slave labor. Stop saying that. Stop doing it. She's framing it. One more time, guys. Some of you may have missed it. Let me play a little bit. Let me go back.
But we begin tonight with Donald Trump's ongoing normalization of racism and violence. 9 years after America's highest profile birther began his first presidential campaign by describing Mexican migrants as rapists and criminals, you can no longer be surprised at the pure venom Donald Trump is capable of spewing about people of color. Even though more often than not, he's referring to people who are fleeing poverty and violence and who are simply looking for the prospect of a better life through hard, often back-breaking work here in the United States. But compassion is not in the vocabulary of the man who paints himself as the second coming of Jesus while ignoring Jesus' own exhortation to welcome the stranger and the immigrant. And in a pair of campaign appearances on Tuesday in Michigan and Wisconsin, Donald Trump made clear that he intends to continue his Hitler-style campaign of dehumanizing migrants of color as he runs for the presidency to keep himself out of prison, unleashing a flood of racial resentment and fake cultural outrage. In the city of Grand Rapids, flanked by local law enforcement officials who apparently don't mind standing next to a man who sicked his most violent followers on police in our nation's capital on January 6, 2021, Trump unleashed a torrent of malicious, racist bile.
You know, it should be a law against being that full of shit. See, this is why people end up liking Trump, because they dislike Joy and MSNBC. First of all, to say that, to compare Trump to Hitler is disrespectful as hell. For obvious reasons. But she does it several times in this, whatever you call this. Like, dog. Once again, I'm a Cornel West supporter, but I'm a caller out of bullshit. I got to call bullshit out. And you should be able to compare someone who hasn't, like, do you realize, like, you know what Hitler did? What? I don't even want to say it, right? But it's got to be something like totally unethical, just garbage. Like, only a vermin, a horrible individual, a person of low character would use that equation, would make that comparison over some fucking words, man. Like, come on, man. I can't say this. Oh, people of color. You said, Donald Trump is a nationalist, right? And I get that, and that's off-putting as hell to a lot of people. But he ain't talking about, there are people of color in the country that he's not saying those things about. So what's the common denominator? And I get what you're saying, that he's saying negative things. I get that. But as people of color, I don't know. We'll keep going, guys. I just find her hard to get through. That's all. I'm sorry. She is really she's full of stuff.
Repeating his violent, ominous language about a bloodbath to attack the Biden administration.
It's a border bloodbath, and it's destroying our country. It's a very bad thing happening. We don't want them coming into our country with contagious diseases, and they have it. The suburban housewives actually like Donald Trump. You know why? Because I'm the one that's going to keep them safe. If you don't want illegal alien criminals crawling through your windows and ransacking your drawers, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, cities, and towns.
A lot of things he said there were bad. A lot of what he said there was bad. Like, yeah, I get some of that, right? Some of the stuff he said right there, should have said that shit, right? Should not have said that, They're bringing diseases. Like who? Who's bringing diseases? Right? Okay. Fear-mongering. Look, guys, hey, I'm not here to defend Trump. I'm just calling balls and strikes. Yes, Trump be using fear like a mofo. That's true. And he's not using, yeah. And he's doing it for a reason. Come on, he's doing, obviously, he's doing it for a reason. All right? I give you that. But to act as if it is, dog, they don't live here. They don't live here. If you don't live in America and someone's talking shit about you, here's the thing. I'm waiting for Joy Reid's segment about what's really going on with Ukraine and what's really going on in Israel, in Palestine, to the Palestinians. Like, he is talking about these people should not come to this country, but he's not trying to bomb them. He's not trying to assassinate their leaders. He's not fighting a war against them, nor is he talking about doing that. But that's what we're literally doing. Joy's got no smoke for that shit. Joy's got no smoke for actual pain and suffering being caused by America to other people that are people of color. No problem at all. But has a problem, only we all know it's political. It's obviously just politics bullshit, right? Because she's got a problem with Trump saying things about people that are not American citizens. But she doesn't have a problem with Joe Biden doing things to people who are not American citizens. Get what I'm saying? And she's a lot more outraged about the saying of things. But no smoke whatsoever for the doing of things. That shit's crazy. And I can say that because I'm keeping it real and honest with you. And I can still say, yeah, Trump using fear like a motherfucker. He's using fear. That's what that motherfucker's doing. But let's keep it real. But Joy can't do that. Keeping it real is not in her vocabulary. She can't keep it real because she has this job and she wants to keep her job. So with MSNBC and CNN and everybody in the and I was going to save this for later. No, I will save it for later. I'll save it for later. Let's keep going. I get to talking too much.
In that same speech, Trump also defended his repeated use of dehumanizing, degrading language when referring to people who come across our border.
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. And Nancy Pelosi told me that. She said, please don't use the word animal, sir, when you're talking about these people. I said, I'll use the word animal because that's what they are.
Trump was referring to the man who authorities believe killed Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, one of two recent crimes Trump has exploited to weaponize the issue of the southern border.
Okay. That's amazing that she would say that. That's amazing that she would say such a thing. I got a clip of Joe Biden I'm going to play in a moment. But and I was going to play it to show her hypocrisy. I was going to play it to show how Joe Biden was talking mad shit. Oh, he had a field day going in on the blacks. Okay? And he's supposed to be St. Joe now, right? He's St. Joseph of Delaware. Right? People should name their kids after him. But see, Joy shows her own hypocrisy, but with her own segment on her own. She don't need my help. She's talking about how Joe Biden, how she's saying that Trump is demonizing a killer. He called a killer less than human. A killer. When have we decided that we can't call a killer a name? I'm just saying. I thought you were saying he was talking about all people that are, whatever. But if you're talking about a fucking killer, you mean the guy who killed the jogger? If that's who he's talking about specifically, yes. I get that. Is he doing it for political gain? Yes. But no one gives a shit, Joy. No one should care that he's talking about that guy? Nobody. I want to go to the internet because Joy is going to do something kind of amazing. Check her out.
Are just a week ago, as the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore exposed exactly the kind of people that Donald Trump believes are poisoning the blood of our country. The 6 men who lost their lives filling potholes on the bridge in the wee hours of the cold and the dark. Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes, Dorleon Castillo Cabrera, Miguel Luna, Jose Lopez, Maynor Suazo, and a 6th unidentified colleague. The mother of Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes told NBC's Washington, D.C. station that she had deep pain in her heart over the death of her son. The remains of the married father of 4 were found last week in a red pickup truck that was submerged in the river. He was just 35 years old.
Okay. So here we go. Is that not politicizing? The bridge collapse here in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland? Sounds to me like Joy Reid is politicizing the bridge collapse in Baltimore, Maryland to win a political game, to win a political argument, to make a political point that somehow makes these people saintly because they died on a bridge that they were being paid to build. I wonder if Joy supports reparations. Because, see, black folks died on bridges, and so did some Asians, too, was building railroads stuff. But we're talking about slavery part. Black people died on bridges in America. I've never heard Joy do a segment about reparations. I just thought I'd throw that out there because she's talking about people that died on a bridge that fell in the water because of a Singaporean ship that ran into the bridge that made the bridge fall. And that's horrible stuff, but she's using it to kind of say these are great people, these amazing people. There were people that died in the Ohio train derailment in Palestine, Ohio, East Palestine, Ohio, that my friend just hit me to. Remember that? That was under Joe Biden's watch. Oh, okay. It's the words that Trump used. So now we got to make a word game and make one group of people be saints who died doing their jobs, and another group of people, a killer can't be called a bad word, but the guys that worked the bridge who died on an accident, you're using their deaths to glorify and say all people that come here legally or illegally are great because these people here were here legally. I think. I don't really fucking know. But the point is, you're doing the same thing Trump was doing. You're doing the same exact thing. You're using a death to make a political point, to score a political point. You don't even know if those people that died, rest in peace to those people. I did a video about it earlier today. You don't even know if they were Democrats. They could have been Republicans. A lot of Latinos are Republicans, by the way. A lot of Latinos like Trump, by the way. I'm just saying. But since, since pop culture, I don't know, since this thing with the Democratic Party, they all think that everybody black and everybody brown, everybody Latino all vote for Democrats because Republicans are so racist. Yeah, a lot of people are voting for the couch, Joy. I know you don't understand that coming from, where you come from, where all the money is. I'm just saying, folks, it's all BS. It's all garbage. Trump's wrong. Joy Reid is wronger. She's also wrong. They're both wrong. Get what I'm saying? They're both wrong. Absolutely. And my problem is, and I think most of the people that watch the Tim Black Show get that they're both wrong. That Trump is wrong, he's playing a political game, and you can admit it. But the Democrats, the liberals, there are people that believe Joy Reid who do not see the hypocrisy in what she was doing. I think anybody who dies doing their job, that's a damn shame. That was a freak accident that should not have happened, and those families better be taken care of. Because there's nothing else you can do except make sure those families of those deceased workers are taken care of. It wasn't a terroristic act. It was a damn accident that should not have happened. I don't know what you do to Japan, except make them pay the families. I don't know what you do to the company. The company, not the country Japan, but it was Singapore. I'm sorry, Singapore. Yeah, I don't know what you do about that, except sue, right? That's what you do, right? My point is this. My point is, Joy Reid's full of shit. That's all. We already know Trump is. We should also know that Joy is as well. Because they're both playing the same game. But Trump is not doing a segment to say that Joy Reid is full of shit. Joy Reid is doing a segment to say that Trump is full of shit, and then she does the same thing. And that happens a lot with the Democrats or with the liberals or with corporate media. They'll say Trump did this, he's doing that, and they'll be doing the same thing. But it's rarely being done in the same segment. That's beautiful. Wow, that's priceless. It's amazing when you prove my point for me. And still there'll be those brain dead people. It's a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them on like TikTok. It's like a lot of people that are riding hard for Joe Biden, who this will go over their heads because they see a bag. They see a bag in their future. They think someone's going to give them money to talk positively about Joe Biden. Oh yeah, here's the point I wanted to make. This was a freebie. This was a gift. I did not realize Joy said that. But I want to remind everybody of who Joe Biden was and is. Here goes Joe Biden in the 90s.
We must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized, literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now.
I just want to know. Guys, I want to know this, and I'm sure you can help me out. Is he talking about people or animals? I want to know who he's talking about. Yeah. Who is he talking about? And is he talking about people or animals? Because he said they had not been socialized. Sounds like animals. And it sounds like he wants you to be afraid of them. And he says there's tens of thousands of them. And he says it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they had hard lives. You mean like if they were coming here because they didn't have money and they were bad economic situations? He said it doesn't matter. Biden says it doesn't matter if you don't have money. It doesn't matter if you come from bad situations. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. We got to get him off the street. We got to lock him up. We got to get rid of him. What are you doing? They're going to attack my mom. Have they attacked your mom? No, but they could. They could attack my mom. They're going to attack my sons, my kids. You, I, anyone. We got to get them off the streets. He didn't say go get the people that are breaking laws. He said they could do this. He didn't say they already did it. He said they could do it. I'm just trying to understand what's the major difference between what Biden's saying and what Trump's saying. And if you want to say one's appalling, one's disgusting, you got to say the other one is. Guess what? They've both been president. They've both been president. Oh, Tim, that was a long time ago. Wasn't that damn long ago? How old are you? You weren't here in 1993? You're 30 years old during time. You made it. If you're over 30, that's Biden. He was a senator. And he got promoted twice. Well, he got 2 higher jobs. He ended up being a vice president and a president after talking like that. As bad as Joy wants you to think it is, as horrible as it is, Joy compared Trump to Hitler for talking that way. When Biden talked that way, what happened? He became a vice president and then a president. Can't be that bad. So it's either wrong or it's not wrong. So if anybody say, Tim Black, you're caping for Trump, no, I'm calling balls and strikes, dude. I'm saying if one is bad, the other's bad. And if one is okay, the other's okay. That's what I'm saying. Because that only makes sense. That's what balls and strikes are. If it's in the strike zone, it's a strike. If it's outside, it's outside. It's a ball. And what I'm saying, it's pretty clear. What Joe Biden was doing there was fear-mongering. To an extent, they don't even hear about Trump talking about. If she had Trump saying that, she would have played it. Go get him. It doesn't matter. He talks that way about the ones like the one who killed the jogger. He don't talk that way about everyone. Who was Biden talking about? He wasn't even talking about an actual incident. He making up shit. So I just thought it was funny. Now, because he was talking about black people, so I guess it was okay. Have you ever heard a white politician talk that way about white people? Demonizing black people is something you can get away with. Well, we know. Well, no, nobody know what it is. You got to be a Democrat to do it. Because if Trump does it, racist. Biden does it, that's so long ago. Who cares, Tim? Who cares, Tim? I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy. That's all I'm doing here. That's all we're doing. Balls and strikes, man. If you don't have the guts to keep it real, if you can't keep it 100, if you can't be honest, you shouldn't be talking. You should not be talking. Last but not least, I want to go to Charles Barkley. Chuck's in the house. Let's go to Chuck. Okay, let's go to Chuck. Now, in this clip, Chuck's going to be half right and half wrong. No, stupid and smart, or smart and right and dumb, or he's going to say some things that are right and some things that are just dumb. But, it's Chuck, so hey. If you just like that video, you're going to love the next one. I'm talking about Charles Barkley, y'all. He's going to make some comments that make sense and some comments that don't make sense. Because that's Chuck. And we're going to talk about it right here in this video. So click up here in the corner for that link to that video. Watch that one. And there's going to be another one after that. Just keep watching more Tim Black Show. I love y'all. Peace.